Greetings and good evenings and love and evanescent connection bliss to the inner realms of love of God, the inner realms of God, the inner kingdoms of God, the kingdoms of heaven, the inner kingdoms of heaven, the inner kingdoms of God, the inner realms. And the greetings to the overall evanescent love of all that is, and greetings to the evanescent love of God and the love of God, and greetings to all that is. Greetings. This is your host, Christopher Curtis Bowen, on this evening edition of evening edition of the Christopher Bowen Show. The sequel, if you will, to the Fire of Liberty, which is the previous radio show that I had. So, it's in the description. The description is pretty straightforward, and that's kind of like what this broadcast is mostly all about, like the amazingness of the tenacity of the greatness of just the kingdom of God, and then seeking His righteousness, which is absolutely the most amazing, just outstanding thing, because I recognize that at the most immediate center is that, in a way, He is the center of everything, and He's here. He's absolutely here, and let's say, I am outstanding, and I have so much glory, and I have so much greatness, and it's not that I just believe that, is I believe it within me, because I feel it more than anything, because everything changes, and everything shifts, and everything is within God's stillness, and I believe it, and it's a communication that's happening at all times within me, and it's not that I just believe it, it changes reality around me, and of course, not just saying, the inner voice of that truth, of the inner voice awakening within all of us, and especially within me, but within everything. Everything is in everything, every facet of the maneuverability, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat my greatness at all. I mean, I kid you not, cumulonimbus to strumbius. One word, strumbius. Truth. Greatness, perfection. I want to manifest with all the love in my heart and with all I can for God, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. And I just want to, overpower and be dedicated, and just exhaust myself and be committed to that higher level of living. It's not just like a higher level of living and then you lead by example, but it's the fact that, it's not just like you should trust the inner voice. The inner voice is the voice. The inner voice is the truth. The inner voice is like the voice, and it's always right. It's perfect. It's always spot on. I can always lead. I can always create. I can always manifest. I'm always perfect. But what I mean by that is I'm always perfect. Be perfect, even as, I believe that's how it goes, even as your Father in heaven is also perfect. We are perfect. We can, we're being perfect. And the thing that stood out today is just the manifestation. Well, obviously manifestations and creations, all that powerful creational energy and the divine magic and the magic abilities and the magic that's been going on. And I can be more specific about it, but it was just so high level power, because there's the creational ascension evolutionary standpoint of those that are knowing, and the communication, which I would consider back and forth. You can see just high energy evolution progressing. You can see the love of God. You can see the love of creation. You can see the love of love. You can see the love as the fabric encompassing and holding everything together, and how you can see and learn and really experience a deeper sense of truth and meaning and inner power. And it's so cool, because it's absolutely true. And just talking Les Mis here for a little bit, and then I'm just going to go back into I was normally talking. It's great. It's freaking awesome. It's cool. It's literally we have our own little things. Let's just go off of the basis of just a setting where we can really be embodied, and it's almost like we're not even there, and that's one of my abilities. So anyway, I want to get into that a little bit. And I can just go on and on about my abilities, but And I'm not that impressed with my abilities. I'm more impressed with the inner voice that's within me. I'm more impressed with my heart, with the communication with my heart, because that's a real thing, and it's so real to me. And my heart talks to me. I feel it. Like it has emotions. It has its own suggestions. You know, my heart knows. My heart knows me. My heart knows me very well, and I love my heart, and I love the infinite heart of the Creator, and I know the Creator lives within me, and He lives through me, or He is like, I surrender completely to the Creator. But I say that, you know, I surrender, but I have actually been consistently surrendering to love, and I'm not going to talk about, you know, the unique segue that I created myself, and the unique path, the straight and narrow that I walked. You know, and the Lord directs my steps, of course, obviously, or directs all of our steps. But anyway, and that's super awesome. But the thing is, like, I've never been that, I never explained things like this, but at the same time, like, it is that powerful, and it is that purposeful, and it is that enormous, and it is that creative, and it is that, you know, I am that, and, you know, there is a spiritual aspect of language, and, you know, there is still, you know, creation going on, there is still all that jazz hierarchy, and I can go into details about that, but the thing is, like, there's a lot of creative power, and a lot of creative potential, and a lot of good on the world, and a lot of purpose that God has for us, like, a lot of purpose that God has for us, and, you know, why would we want to do anything else other than what God wants? And I think that's, you know, kind of obvious to me, but, like, I'm just so gung-ho for God, like, I want to do everything that He wants me to, and I say that, but, like, it really is the practice of complete surrender and dedication on that stuff, and specifically, it's just a knowing. It's not just knowing; it's the truth, and it's amazing. Like, it's also learning and teaching and understanding and comprehending and, you know, teaching and developing and deliberating. But most importantly, just knowing that He's immortal, that He's infinite, and that we are immortal, and that we are infinite, and that we are love, and love is the most powerful force. And yeah, that's what I am. I am love. I'm untouchable. It's like, it is like, that is the force that's going on. You know, it's love. It's love impacting love. It's love existing as love itself. You know, that's what it is. It's love. It's the power of love, and then it's love existing as love itself. It's very, very powerful. It is the most powerful force that ever was. It is the true power. It is true power. Love, the power of love is true power, and that's more real than anything else that ever existed, ever, in all of creation. Think about it. Here is the love experiment. Here is the love, not just love experiment, but here is love in action going on, where we have the opportunity to love throughout eternity in limitless amounts of creative options as love, expressing and beaming this love, this infinite love, through all of creation, and then perfectly manifesting this realm here, or manifesting as the self here, you know, and manifesting love throughout the cosmos. And then, you know, here is anchored that vibration of love, where we can experience love and that unity with God and God consciousness on this planet and everywhere. And that's where we are. You know, we get to evolve with God consciousness, and God is everywhere. Yet, you know, God is also within us. And it also seems, you know, that in a way there seems to be also a lot more divine magic that happens from the projection of what either is projected from our eyeballs onto the reality, or the light that reflects into our eyeballs, and then we comprehend that energy. It's interesting, like, one thing I want to comment on that, like, I think people seem more invisible nowadays. Like, people are less ego. There's, like, it's just like people talk, and you notice there's a deepness to it. There's, like, an unlimited sense. It's not shallow. It's actually infinite. Like, people have an infinite source inside them. They have an infinite well of deepness. It's like there's an ocean. And there's also the saying that goes, you know, there will always be the ocean. The ocean will always be there, and you'll always hear the ocean, and you'll always hear the waves. And it's true. And that's a really powerful thing. And I mastered many aspects of life. I've mastered lifehood. I've mastered that. I've conquered that, actually. I've completed my soul contract already. I mastered life in the form of, like, it's not just what I accomplished in terms of this is like the whole journey I'm going to do in my life, and I conquered that life path because I know love, myself is love, but I also conquered the fact that I am actually here and present and existing in love at all times because I'm connected with everything at all times. And I'm connected to heaven. I'm connected to the heavens, and I can feel the heavenly connection at all times. And I know that bond is pure and true, and I understand, like, that, like, the body of us, like, wanting to go through the phone or going through the screen and then into reality, or from heaven, how the pool of reflections, how they just want to just go into the pools and then to earth. And we are loved so much too, and we know that. I know that, and I know I'm infinite love, and I know God is the reason why I'm also here, and I know that more than ever because I noticed, there's higher vibrational energies and infinite love, and yeah, infinite love is was the reality. Love, just pure love, is the reality, and everything that's said, there's the spiritual language, and everything that's said is continuingly to enlighten it, and it's spiritual, and it is God. God is spirit. The strength and the tenacity and the buffness and just the pure quiet and the stillness, and yet the immense bravery and power and the heart radiation, and then the pure joy, these are all examples of compassion living at the fullest, at its absolute fullest. Just fearlessness, just emanating as God consciousness, just being pure, unstoppable, godly force. Being pure, being true to the self, being unstoppable, And I want to scream it. I want to scream that form of representation to the victory that God has, that God has already claimed, which is super ridiculously awesome, but also the victory of the light, the victory of the light, the championness of just, an outpouring of love, just an outrage of screeching, yelling, shouting all day. Just non-stop yelling, non-stop screaming, non-stop creating. We are creating and in tune with all of creation. And we are moving on this huge, crazy, massive, gigantic, consistent love waves. And, you could be seen as a love wave or just a constant, powerful vibration, and then continually increasing vibrations. And that's kind of what it is. I mean, I feel unstoppable. I feel important, and I feel invincible. I am invincible. I am indestructible. My light is indestructible. My purpose, my whole vibration, my aura, and my tenacity is indestructible. It's like lightning and thunder. It is lightning and thunder. To be honest, it is thunder. We are thunder. We do thunder. We create thunder. We manifest thunder. We are thunder. We are thunderclaps of excellence. We have, and we are, and we will, and we have mastered the stances. And we work on the stances, and we work on the postures. We are the postures. We are the stances. We are the elements. We are the avatars. We are avatar consciousness. We are Christos consciousness, Christos Sophia consciousness. We are cosmic consciousness. We are God consciousness. There's nothing that can get in the way of the excellence that God has in store for you, and it's easier to say it that way. There's nothing to get in the way. But the thing is, God already lives within you. Like, it's the inner voice, and the inner voice talks to you. And my inner voice is so loud. Like, I've completely developed new ways of living. It's a new way of living, a new way of life, and it's where every life is important, every body is loved. but it's full on love. It's not because they're deserving of love. It's just because love is love. You love people regardless. Because I guess you kind of want to love people, not only because they're deserving of love. Everybody's worthy of love, I think. Well, I'm worthy of love, and I deserve love, so I know that I'm special, important, and precious, and my indestructibility and my tenaciousness and my leadership skills and my just, being on the frontier, my fearlessness, is palpable and indestructible and unstoppable, and I want it to continue to be that way. And I want to continue to having more freedom with the limitlessness of the options, and I need to also be more open than I already am, because I'm really just like, kind of like, there was a word that I invented today that to like describe the feeling of just absolute control or absolute presence, an absolute presence in the now moment, just absolute being there and being in all places at once. I had a name for that that I just made up, so I'm gonna try and remember it, but it was like velming. I think that's what it's called, velm. Instead of like a realm, a velmation, that's what I want to call it. So it's velmation. It is the literal, like, the impact of that, well, I'll just say God energy, but like of that lightning energy, of that powerful energy, of just that gravity, of just impact all around you. And it's powerful, We believe in that. We are connected with all that is. We're connected with one another, and we're only becoming more and more connected. Today is a very, 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 well, the now moment is very, we are that we are. We know, I am love. I am that I am. I am truth. I want to encourage more joy and more merriment, so I want to encourage more. I want to encourage my light, and I'm going to encourage more beings to be like my light. I'm going to encourage beings to be more in tune with the inner light within them as well, but more specifically, just, which happened today, the fighting for winning and fighting for victory to God and victory to one another. We're going to do practices and stances and movements, and actually, also music was great today. Music was absolutely spectacular, on point, overflowing, overwhelming at some points, almost all the time, and just vibracious. I can feel it. I can definitely feel it. There's no surrender. There's no surrender at all. There's no way I'm giving up. There's no way. So I want to make that super clear. There's the greatness that exists within the manifestation power that is exemplified in the greatness that happens in creation, as creation is teaching and loving and wanting to be being with us, being one with us, as the divine aspects that we are, and the divine within us, which we can also respect and acknowledge, and then love and connect, and that's great. And the thing is, there's nothing really that goes wrong with, or nothing that's wrong with life or choices or anything. There's no such thing as wrong decision. There's no such thing as a bad decision or anything like that. Especially in this now moment, in these high vibrations. Like, we can create whatever we want. We have the ability to, and we have the responsibility to, and we have the desire to. And so it is. With lots of love, I'm going to just make this a shorter broadcast. It's not going to be like an hour long or 2 hours long. But it's just going to be a short broadcast. This is your host, Christopher Bowen, on this evening edition of the Christopher Bowen Show. Lots of love. I love you all.